Zakia, let's talk about some solutions. What do you see, or give me 1, 2, 3, whatever you think is best about what are our solutions going into the future in education and our status, the status of Black people in America, so on and so forth. I know that's a lot, but if you don't mind, please.
So I think one is really important, and I don't think they're in any particular order. I didn't put them in any order. I think, CFE in New York is just one example, but there's dozens of equity lawsuits. And so we need to definitely equitably fund schools. And that means not what our governor said, which was that he's trying to shut down the last monopoly, which is public education, or the denial that he's giving, that he gives more money. As I shared, equity is not equality. That means that districts and communities, school districts that have higher needs students need more money. That just makes sense. You can't give them the same thing you're giving to someone who's a low needs district and think that you're going to get a better income, a better outcome. So we shouldn't have to file lawsuits. We will, but to get equity into our community and funded our schools, I think is really important. So we need another thing is we need to be taxing the 1%, at least the 1% on the 1%. These hedge funders are buying our democracy. They're giving money to legislators and all kind of folks. They are funding the privatization movement, whether it's prison privatization or public or education privatization. They're funding it, but yet don't want to give up any money. We have wealthy folks. I'm not talking about the average Joe. I'm talking about people who are making big money. 1% on at least 1% on the 1% could absolutely help in regards to funding education, housing, like the list goes on and on if you think about what it could fund. And I think also we need to ensure that we are valuing and understanding that what's going to take for our community is to bring trust. And that when we don't have trust, we don't trust the system, we don't trust people, because we've seen people helicopter in our community year after year, whether they look like us or not, and helicopter back out and promise us a whole bunch of stuff. And at the end of the day, we're worse off than when they came in. And so it really is about building trust and understanding that there's organizations across this country and our very communities that are doing amazing organizing work on the ground, that parents and young people are putting their bodies on the line every day. Whether it's young people in Philadelphia who have been walking out of their schools because they don't have nurses, and young people are dying from asthma attacks because they don't have a full-time nursing school. Or it's the parents and educators in Chicago who went on a 34-day hunger strike to get a school from shutting down in their community because it was the last school that was in their community, and they didn't want their children traveling through gang-infested communities, and because the violence was spiking. Or rather, it's us doing a 150-mile walk to Albany because 10 years is way too long for children in our communities to wait for the state to take action. These are just a few examples of ordinary people doing extraordinary things over and over again, and they're happening. And we need to make sure that we're looking and engaging with those very organizations to hold them up, to open up doors and conversations just like this we're having, so people can understand Black and brown people are not sitting on their butt doing nothing. They never have and never will. And that if we get past that mind frame of believing that they are, then we can help elevate and raise up their causes in a really powerful way. And I think finally is, if we don't begin to talk about race and classism in this country, if we as quote unquote people who want to call themselves progressives don't want to talk about it, then how the heck do we expect those who don't care about it to even raise or elevate this? And we have to understand that we have to be the first ones to step up and step out on those conversations. And we need to be paying people $15 an hour minimum wage, if that's what it is to make a living wage, whether they work in McDonald's or they work in some other place. Because if people are making less than $15 an hour and they still have to be on welfare, that is not living. That is barely getting by.
That's survival, absolutely.
So we need to really make sure that we're paying attention to all these things, hold each other up as community, not tear each other down. And when people are on that frame of tearing down, sometimes it's okay to walk away and say, you know what, that's not how I get down.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Zakia. Very much. All right, Jesse, you're up. I don't know if you're going to be able to follow that, brother.
Man, that's a hard one. Man, she put it down. She.
All right now.
Hey, thank you for that. I've actually learned a lot from Zakia, and I definitely hope to one day speak with you at greater lengths on your experiences, because I think it's important to know all different spectrums in order for me to be able to make an educated decision. So I'll definitely,
I'm
we
holding
have
you both to that. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm gonna hold you both to that.
Well, thanks.
Go ahead,
Thank
Jesse.
you. Well, my three little points I'd like to end with, again, political engagement. Political engagement, I believe, is paramount. I mean, you can't, if we have a problem with how the system is not treating us, then how can we continue to elect people that really, that we believe don't have our best interests at heart? Secondly, corporate engagement. I believe there's a need to have corporate engagement. We have corporations like Walmart, who are major employers in this country, and they're not paying any taxes. So the fact that they aren't paying any taxes and their workers are able to go and qualify for government subsidies, they are draining the system. So if we're going to ensure that education is funded and addressed at all levels, these corporate interests, these corporations must take an interest in ensuring that the labor pools in those areas are educated, that they have an educated workforce to reach out to. And lastly, I say respect teachers, and not just respect them by saying, hey, teachers, I respect you, but we have teachers who have taught astronauts, rocket scientists. We have, these teachers are very, very skillful, and from all accounts, the great ones have a calling to do that. And I believe, as citizens in this country, we must ensure that our educators are no longer treated like third class citizens. They should not have to go to these schools that are grossly underfunded and grossly neglected. I mean, they're coming to do a job to help our nation. And as a nation, we must get behind those teachers. And I'm a champion for teachers. I have a lot of respect. Just think about one kid. I have a 9-year-old, and you know what? That little guy is all over the place. I teach him manners. I teach him respect. But there are parents out there who don't take that time to teach their kids that. So we have these teachers in the classrooms, and I'm not breaking it down based on race, but understanding that we have teachers in classrooms that are exposed to kids that may have some type of underlying problem that's ongoing. And lastly, on that point, is taking into consideration military families. Being a military family, I think it's important to highlight the plight of military children. When that dad or that service member, that dad or that mom goes overseas, well, they both, and those kids are actually suffering from that disconnection. So when you consider the fact that these parents are now overseas, these kids come to school with a stress and a burden that those teachers really, a lot of them aren't trained to deal with. So we have to look at these children, all children, especially Black and brown kids, and not look at them as the stereotypical views that's put out there. We have to get to know these kids. I have a kid that wears his pants sagging that volunteered for my campaign. And you know what? This kid is brilliant. But if I had stereotyped him just based on the fact that he didn't pull his pants up, I could have missed out on an opportunity to learn some things. This young man taught me some things today. So I just think, again, we have to respect our teachers and ensure that the process of educating our kids is beneficial for the kids, the parents, and the teachers as well.
All right, now that's what I'm talking about. All this prophetic fire this evening. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So All right, so we're getting ready to close out, folks. I really can't add anything to that, so I'm just keep my mouth shut. Zakia,
I'm sorry, I was going to ask if I could share something. Go ahead. I didn't mean to.
And I was just getting ready to go to you. And so when you finish sharing something, if we go a few minutes over, it's all right. This is the internet. We have to keep a schedule. But so just when you finish talking, please let everybody know how to get in contact with you and anything else you want to let folks know. Please share away.
So 2 things. One is you kind of mentioned it earlier on. I need people to go on social media, keep paying attention to Stand and Rock. No Dapple, this Dakota pipeline. We need to support them. Their struggle is our struggle. They're trying to protect our water. We've seen what happened with Flint. So please go to social media and support them. They're being maced. They're being shot at. Not new. The pictures look like the civil rights movement and dogs and all kind of things happening. And we need our presidential candidates, whether we agree with them or not, to be talking about public education, which they have not, and to be talking about Stand and Rock, which we know why Donald Trump isn't, or why isn't Hillary Clinton. So the way you can contact me, ZAKIYAH@AQENY.org. Follow me on Twitter at ZANSARI8. And please reach out to us. We're doing and go to our website, AQENY.org. You can see all about the CFE campaign. You can see pictures from our walk. You can see a lot of the reports that we put out that are really informative. So yeah, please look me up.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Zakia. Now, something I forgot to mention about Mr. Jesse Smith, Sergeant First Class Jesse Smith. He's a combat veteran. So everybody, support your troops out there in the ballot box. Come on November 8th. All right, Jesse, come on, talk to me.
Hey, I believe you said it all. I'm just happy again to participate in this panel. I mean, I learned a lot, and I look forward to doing them in the future. So if you'd like to reach me and stay in contact, Facebook.com, Jesse Smith for Congress, and on Twitter, JT4 Congress 2016. Snapchat coming soon. Instagram, same as Twitter. But I look forward to continue to fight on behalf of Black and brown people and on behalf of Americans. Having served 14 years in the military and 4 combat tours overseas, it does me no better service than to look at these men and women in which I'm running to represent and to tell them that I got your back. So I appreciate you having me on, and I just look forward to continuing the fight, regardless of what happens on November the 8th. I'm in this, we're in it to make a difference, and not a difference for me, but a difference for the United States of America. I've seen so many horrible parts of the world, and there's absolutely no way that I'm willing to sit back and allow America to veer in that direction. So thank you again, and hey, follow me on Twitter. I'm live right now.
All right, everybody. That was Sergeant First Class Jesse Smith. He's running for Congress in Alabama. I'd like to thank him and Zakia Ansari. She was amazing on this panel. Yes. Really appreciate her input. Of course, our good friend and sister Nina Turner. We're still kind of floored by her presence. All right. We won the lottery here, and also this whole thing, this whole panel. This is David Grossman and Anoa Changa. This is their operation. They allowed me to do this panel. I rolled a 7 when I got this awesome group. So I'd like to thank them, especially Big Dave. Dave is always in the background. He keeps us out of trouble. I'd like to thank Brandon Sutton. He's in the chat room moderating along with Anoa. He's out. Brandon's playing bouncer out there on our chat room. I'm Mike Redwine of the Louisa Project 2027. You put that in Google, you'll find me everywhere we are. Okay, so you can follow me personally on Twitter at Mike_Redwine. That's Mike MIKE _Redwine REDWINE. Please follow me on Twitter, and please subscribe to us on YouTube. So that's the Louisa Project 2027. It's named after my daughter, Louisa, and she goes to college in 2027. And we're trying to make the world a better place by the time she gets there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. We're almost on time, 2 minutes off. We were close. All right, Jesse, Zakia, could you please stick around after this? And I think that's it. Dave, you got anything to say?
I do. Just one thing. I just want to mention. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and I'm not going to put my mug on face right now, my mug on screen right now. But that's a prime example of why I stay back here. I can't even speak. I did want to just let everybody know that coming up we don't have a specific date just yet, but it will be announced soon, is the next panel. We have 2 left from the 5 that we currently have planned. We will likely go beyond these 5, but the next one is going to be Black Lives Matter Beyond the Names, and essentially we will have some guests. We're working on the final lineup, but we want to focus on those lost and how we can honor them, how we can make sure that everything that we've seen the past few years and what is continuing to happen isn't in vain. So we want to kind of honor people and maybe bring some specific stories up and show the side that the media doesn't. So I just wanted to bring everyone in and up to date on that. But on that, I'll bring it back to Mike and we can close out.
All right, that was Big Dave Grossman. You often hear him on the Benjamin Dixon Show. He runs the show back there as well. I would like to thank Benjamin Dixon for letting us use his channel, so he doesn't cuss me out later. I'm just kidding. He wouldn't say anything to me about it.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. All right, so that's it, everybody. Please keep an eye out for when the next panel is going to come. And as Dave said, I think we're going to continue to do this. This was a great panel. Thank you all very much for participating, watching, listening, whatever you're doing. Thank you. Good night.